This is endurance racing, lap after lap, hour after hour. Trading pain in F1 always ends badly, but tap the side of another car at Daytona? No biggie. Hard battles? Yeah, we got plenty of them. A variety of cars in different classes racing simultaneously is something that we have that no other big league racing series have. This is WEC and IMSA, the two top endurance racing series in the US and Europe. And there is a lot you do not know about it. It's not racing in circles for hours, sometimes even entire days. It's strategy, driver skill. Luck plays a big role in being first in GTP or hypercars to being in the wall because you cut across a GT3 car. Nothing is more satisfying in racing than cutting up through GT3 and LMP2 traffic on the Mulsanne Straight at Le Mans. But it can all end after a slight mistake on you or another driver's end. This is endurance racing.
And now it is about Le Mans, you know.
The basics of endurance racing is simple. Well, not really. First, manufacturers like Toyota, who make the Prius, chuck this hypercar out of there, I don't know where they design their cars, I don't know. And they follow regulations which are either LMH and LMDH in order to race in the World Endurance Racing Championship and IMSA, the International Motorsports Association. In GTP and hypercars. In the WEC, you compete in multiple endurance racing events in the prestigious 24 Hours of Le Mans. And in IMSA, you compete in the 24 Hours of Daytona, the 12 Hours of Sebring, and the Motul Petit Le Mans race. After the endurance racing teams pick up the car from manufacturers, this process is called customer teams. They get drivers who complete full-time in sports car racing, and that's how you have teams. For LMGT3 or GT3, it is a little more complicated, as the GT3 regulations are adopted in multiple racing series. Take, for example, the SRO GT World Challenge in IMSA and WEC. Again, same thing for hypercars, but you will take a road car and turn it into a race car. Well, it is much more complicated, and there are some videos linked in the description going further detail. Racing and endurance racing starts whenever the race starts. And what people use to describe a period of time when a driver drives during the race, they call it a stint. Because usually after a couple of hours, the teams perform the sacred driver swap. It consists of the pit crew changing the tires, the refueler refueling the car, and the driver who drove it for definitely more than an hour scrambling to get out while driver number 2 is shoving himself in the usually narrow cockpit. Usually during these races, people bin it in the wall, usually by them or another driver switching off their brain, and sometimes chaos or a calm, smooth race. Usually chaos. But this is merely the base level of knowledge in endurance racing. I wouldn't say I know the bottom of the iceberg, but I've learned quite a lot, and I hope that I've covered the top of the iceberg for endurance racing at least. Some people refer to the golden age of endurance racing to be the 1960s Le Mans to the end of Group C, and it is very obvious why. During the 1960s, we had famous battles like Ford versus Ferrari in Group C. Well, for Group C, this is all you need to know. Group C started when the FIA introduced the regulations in 1982 until 1993. Since I'm too brain-rotted to read a Wikipedia page about Group C, here's a quote from one of the drivers. "These cars were fast as frick and handled decent, but they'd like to flip." This is not one of the drivers from Group C, this is me driving the Mazda 787B in BeamNG Drive. The Group C era had incredible battles, and this super duper famous accident that is on every car blow over YouTube short, but I'm too lazy to find any examples.
The Toyota lights ablaze. Make sure the slower cars see them. Here we go. Oh my god! Oh my god!
This is the Mercedes CLR Le Mans prototype car. It's probably the most famous Group C car, alongside the Mazda 787B, because the Mazda 787B had an incredible rotary sound, and the Mercedes, well, yeah, you already saw. I have linked an incredible video about the CLR in the description if you are interested about it. The car, if I remember correctly, blew over 2 times in 1999. Wait, that's not Group C. Wait, that's not Group C. Wait, that's not Group C. But anyways, enough with the old days. Time to talk about the new days. Endurance racing is in its golden age. By the perfect regulations for the hypercars, GT3 being perfect. Take for example Corvette versus BMW, and BMW and Porsche and GTP and IMSA. Though I have not been keeping up with WEC for the most part, there are new contenders like the Aston Martin Valkyrie LMH, and LM GT3 looks incredible for this year in WEC. The only main endurance racing series I'm watching currently is IMSA, and I'm not really keeping up with WEC. GTP really seems like the next Group C, and GT3 touring cars are as competitive as they can get. And GT3 cars are as competitive as they can get. With manufacturers slapping on turbos and having very competitive cars, endurance racing is in its golden age. That will either be proven or proven wrong at the 2025 24 Hours of Le Mans, and we will see who can win. As Ferrari have been dominant in WEC and Porsche, Penske, and IMSA, it all comes down to Le Mans.
Wait for the lights to change, and they will storm along the straight and sweep right into the Porsche curves. Immediately, Lawrence Van Toor shuts the door on Sebastian Bourdais. Ferrari side by side.